Here, and every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I hop onto Facebook Live and do a little talk about living and learning. This month, we are focusing on confidence. We're talking about confidence, how to get in the right confident mindset, which is what we talked about last week. And this week, we are talking about what to do. We're in the confident mindset. How do we move forward? What is the confident action that we take? I am so excited to tell you about all of this. And before I do, I just want to let you know I am launching my Confident Leadership course. I just sent the email out right before hopping on here. I am so excited. This is a compilation of my best tools and trainings around confidence, around leadership, communication, and it's going to be a collaborative effort, meaning that you're not going to be alone. You're going to have a group of people that are just like you in a similar position. I will tell you more about that, and I'll put a link in the comments later on after the video. But I wanted to let you know that is here and it's coming, and I've got a special deal going on now until February 17th to get $100 off the course. So I'm excited for that. I will tell you more in a bit. But first, let's talk about confidence. Let's talk about confident action. So last week we talked about that space between doubt and commitment. How if we find ourselves in that space between doubting versus committing, then it's kind of the riskiest place that we can be at in our headspace when it comes to our work, and when it comes to sports as well, but that's a whole other topic. So what do we do if we get ourselves in that right mindset, right? We remember times that we were confident. We remember times that we did take action and that amazing things happened. When we tap into that can put us in the right mindset, because what that does is it quiets our inner critic and it allows more spaciousness for us to kind of be present and to take action. And for any of you who have been a part of, who've seen my imposter syndrome talk, you know that part of the research talks when we want to become more confident, but we don't know how to get there. One of the things that research talks about is that we have to take action. It's like we don't want to take action until we feel confident. However, the way to get to confidence is through taking action. Now, this isn't just willy-nilly action. It's not like we're just randomly choosing to do one thing and then changing our minds and doing another, but rather to step into that commitment, that bold commitment, by taking action, calculated action. Now, after we take the action, then what? Oftentimes, we are in a position that feels awkward. Our inner critic might flare up and get really loud. After we take action, we might be in that place of total uncertainty, totally second guessing ourselves. And that's normal. That's the awkward period that's going to follow. So it's important to stick through it, to kind of stick with it, and to do the self-care that we need to quiet that inner critic, to allow time for things to settle. And that's when the learning happens, right? We gather information from other people. We see the impact of what we've done. We might have to take more time to really learn about what's happening. And from there, after we've learned the impact of that, of the action that we took, then we move on, we adjust, we adapt. That's how confidence is built. It's built by taking action, by learning, and by adapting and moving on. And I want to pause here and say hello to the folks that are on here. Hello, Elle. Hello, Charlene. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you to everyone watching on the replay. So how do we get, and thank you, Charlene. I will keep up the good work. Appreciate that. So how do we get to the taking action part? If you are somebody who is really cautious, who does not want to make a mistake, does not want to fail, you might be somebody who can be a little reticent to take action. That might feel a little too risky. even though that might be something that you want to do, then what I talk about is mustering the 20 seconds of courage that you need. So if speaking up in meetings is something you don't normally do, let's just use that as an example. If you're someone who allows others to talk and you're a really good listener and you really hesitate to give a countering point of view, or you really hesitate to even share your opinions and voice for fear of not adding value or whatever the fear may be, I encourage you that if you want to feel more confident speaking up in meetings, you have to learn how to speak up in meetings. And part of that is to muster that 20 seconds of courage. That's all it is, 20 seconds of courage to speak. And I would encourage you to speak without worrying about the consequence. When we're speaking while worrying about what the consequence is, our message automatically gets muddy. So to speak without worrying about the consequence, and then to pause in that awkward period, that place where your cheeks might be on fire because you said something and you might not even remember what you just said. But to speak and to wait and to see what actually happens. When we do this repeatedly, and when we can take care of ourselves and turn down that inner critic volume, kind of make it through that awkward period, then what happens is we learn in time that it's safer to speak up in meetings. It becomes less difficult. And if you spoke up and something happened that you were afraid of what was going to happen, or maybe some pushback happened, then you learn. You learn whatever the lesson is that needs to be learned. But that awkwardness or that learning doesn't necessarily mean don't do it again. It just means this process can be awkward and take time. So be with yourself through it. If speaking up in meetings is brand new for you, then it's going to feel it might feel a little rough. But that doesn't mean stop doing it. It just means this is part of the learning process, how we get more comfortable, how we get our sea legs underneath us. Welcome, Josh. Thanks for tuning in as well. So I leave you with that this week. Take action on something that you've been lacking confidence in. Stick through that awkward period. Learn from it. Move on. It's amazing what can happen when we can do that. And it's amazing what a gift to your confidence that you can build by taking that action, mustering those 20 seconds of courage, and going for it. I want to just come back and tell you about my Confident Leadership course. I am so excited. It's a 6-week course online. You can watch the videos at your own time. I am creating videos of some of my best content. And then we will also have live group coaching calls once a week and a private Facebook group. I am so excited for this. And I know some of you have been waiting for a while, wondering when this was all going to happen and when it was going to take place. It's going to start March 30th, which is a Monday, March 30th. That's when the content will become available to you. You will have this content not just for the 6 weeks, but beyond. As long as I'm around, this content will be around and will be at your disposal. I know people who have taken prior courses to this one have said how valuable it is to watch these videos over and over again. I give so much more depth in these videos than I do in our Living and Learnings. I go really into it. So there's so much content that I have to share with you. We're going to talk about some of the pitfalls for confidence. We're going to talk about tons of tools. I have so many tools. I have probably 20 to 30 tools to offer you around confidence, around communication, around team building, around setting boundaries at work for work-life balance, around caring for yourself even in the busiest of lives. So that's what the content is. Because I'm launching it and because this is coinciding with Valentine's Day, I am sharing the love, offering it for 20% off. That's $100 savings. It's going to be $497. That's the price, the standard price. But between now and February 17th, it will be $397. So spread the word. If you are interested, if you know other people who would be interested, I am not going to offer this sweet of a deal in the future. I will probably offer more deals as we go along, but for the most part, it's going to be $497. But for this weekend, this week through this President's Day weekend, I'm sharing the love for $397. I will put a link in the comments, and if this speaks to you, click on the links, learn more, contact me. I'm happy to talk to you about it, and there will be payment plans, so you can do that as well. Anyway, I'm just so honored once again that you join me for Living and Learnings, that you read my LinkedIn articles, and that hopefully I can support you in the Confident Leadership course. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a wonderful week of living and learning, and I'll see you next week. Bye.